What's good, you guys? Welcome to the first episode of the Conversation. I'm your host, Up His Barbershop, and guys, you guys don't understand the guest that we have right now. I'm so honored to have him on the first episode. He's not only my boy, but this guy had achieved so many things at such a young age. From cutting hair for his whole soccer team in Portugal, to moving back here, to cutting hair in his basement, and within 1 year opened up his own barbershop that within 3 or 4 months won a huge award, Best Hair and Best Service Barbershop in the GTA for the Toronto Star's Reader's Choice, to now open up his own academy. He's not only a pretty boy, but he does multiple things, man. Guys, I'm honored to introduce my boy, BrazyKuts.
Appreciate you for having me.
Of course,
Appreciate
bro.
you.
Bro, you don't understand. Like, me and you go way back.
You don't even know how far we go back, bro.
We're 12.
Yeah.
We're 23 right now.
We weren't even hitting puberty then, bro.
Nah.
Our voices were not this deep, bro. That's real.
Serious,
That's a fact.
I really want to touch base way back, right? Me and you, the way we met, man, is like, we're on opposite teams.
Yeah.
Your
We were kind of just like,
just playing.
we knew of each other, but we just were playing. But I always knew you as like, I remember you walking around, you always had like smiling on your face. I'm like, yo, why is this guy always smiling for, bro? Like, and then I don't know, like we started playing for the same team, and then that's when our connection just started getting like
growing.
deeper.
We traveled to Dominican.
Yeah. We slept in the same room, guys, in the same bed actually. So
that's how close our connection is. You know, but even Dominican, bro, I remember you just cutting.
Yeah, man.
You're just cutting before you really took it to like the level we're at right now. I want to touch back to Portugal days. You went to Portugal at 17, right? 17, 18. And then you just basically got bored one day, started watching a YouTube video.
So the barbering happened before that. It happened before Portugal.
Okay.
It happened.
Explain.
When did it happen? I started dabbling into cutting when I was like 17, turning 18.
Boom.
And so like, I played soccer.
Yeah.
But a lot of other people, you don't really know that like outside of that, like I used to get into a lot of trouble, bro. Like I used to do a lot of things that I'm not necessarily proud of, but just things that I like leading down the path of my life, the area I grew up in, the people around that I looked up to and stuff like that. But I essentially started watching barbering videos, because I was trying to stay home more. I wasn't trying to be outside, not trying to get in trouble. So when I was at home, I remember I graduated. This was before I went to Portugal. I graduated, and I wasn't just trying to be outside doing nothing. So I used to stay at home, and I used to watch a lot of YouTube. So one day a barbering video popped up, and then that's when I started watching it. And then from then it was like, I didn't think nothing of it. And then I just kept watching, and that's when I started. So it was before Portugal. Before that.
Okay, and then it was Portugal when, after you watching the videos, right, you went to Walmart? And
yeah.
First, like,
the same day I literally watched like 5 hours of cutting hair. And the same day I went to Walmart, and I remember I cut my own hair and I went to practice. I was playing with Hearts, with Hearts at the time.
Yes.
And I went to practice, and everybody goofed me. Like everyone was laughing at me, and then I went
home.
home.
Was bad, bro.
I went home, and then that's when I stayed up all night trying to fix it, and then that's when I just started being like interested in like cutting, like, my friends around the area, and then that's when we went to Dominican. That's when I started cutting. But I seriously actually started getting a true passion for it when I was in Portugal.
When you're in Portugal,
yeah,
and everything.
When I was in Portugal.
And then so a year passed by, right?
Yeah.
You got injured.
Yeah.
You came home. It was 19. You were 19 and 18. And then so when you came back now, was it right away? You're like full throttle, just I want to do this, or did it take a little time?
So even when I was coming back, I was iffy with soccer because people don't know how hard that was, bro. Like I remember when I was there, people were like, yo, you're living the life, like you're probably enjoying it. I'm like, bro, I'm out here, I'm not making no money, I'm broke, I'm training 3-4 times a day, like I'm busting my ass to try and make it for something that's not even guaranteed. Yeah. So it was very hard. It was very hard. It's very hard to have. You have to really, really have it's more than love. You have to love it. You have to love it way more than you think you do.
Because even on those off days when you're just, you want to train.
And the fact that we have nobody there.
Yes.
Like we didn't have no family there. We were by ourselves. So
Depending on Wi-Fi, just communicate on
bro,
people. But
even the Wi-Fi wasn't working sometimes, dog. Like, you don't even know that shit, you know? So it's like, coming back to Portugal, from Portugal, I already had thoughts. I started falling in love with barbering. So I already had thoughts once I came back. And like, I remember when I left, I prayed before I went on the plane and I said, yo, God, if this is the last time you want me to come on this plane, show me a sign, show me something when I come back home. Give me some signal. My leg got bust. So in that moment, I don't doubt anything. Absolutely. I didn't doubt nothing that he said. I took for what it was. And then that's when I just went straight into, I had the vision of like, yo, I'm gonna go hard with barbering. I'm gonna make this my life, 10 toes, that's it. Cause you know me, I either go full in or I don't. Yeah. I don't really dabble around with it. I go straight into it and that's it. So yeah, that's when I went hard.
I love hearing that, bro. God's number one.
Hey,
you know
what I'm saying? That's my
God's
guy.
number one. So I love the fact that, you know, you're really putting God first. You really prayed over just what's the best, like, you know, choice for you. And you listen, 'cause a lot of people will just,
they'll hear it, they'll see it,
yeah,
but they won't really do it.
Yeah.
And even you went through the same thing.
Same thing.
Right? No one really knows that footy was I feel like you were footy was your thing. And then
traveling, bro.
Just
lost motivation, bro. I'm not like, you know, just going to school in the States. So everyone's forced me to go to school, college. I listened. 2 expenses came back, starting YouTube, and then when I came here to Sheridan, you know, I dropped out of school. I'm gonna focus on the YouTube thing, then turned to create my own production company, you know.
I always love soccer, but it's a lot harder than people think it was. It's a lot harder. It's not just it's not back in the day where people just see you on the street, pick you up, take you, and that's it. Like, you have to have connections. You have to have the true dedication. You gotta really like want to die for that. And like, I love it, but I didn't love it that much, honestly, you know?
And questions, because at the beginning, as you said, you weren't the best at doing it. A lot of people right away, they would have just quit. Okay, this maybe not for me, but you didn't. So what kept you, what was your motivation of just to keep going? Like, I'm gonna keep working at it, you know?
Bro, that family, bro. Like, you know, I've always grown up the man of the house. You know, I didn't grow up with a father, so I've always had to be able to provide somehow, some way, ever since I was the youngest. So for me, even though every day, bro, I used to hate being there. I used to hate living there. I used to have crazy anxiety because of like, I just didn't want to be there. But in the back of my head, I was like, bro, I gotta try and get this bag to provide for my family, to provide for my mom, to help my sister out. So like, that was just my biggest, I guess you could say, motivation, was like my mom and my sister, just trying to take care of them, because my mom was like, she did so much for me that I did not want to throw anything to waste. You know, she worked 3 jobs growing up just to raise me, and she put me into soccer. That's the one thing, she always put me in soccer no matter what, regardless of us being Spanish. Like, she just put me in soccer no matter what. Absolutely. And even if she had to go out of her way to work extra hours to pay for it, she made sure she did it. So
I love that.
I just felt like I had to.
Love that.
For me, once I realized barbering could kind of be something, that's when I kind of switched it. And now, like, that's why I've done so much in a short period amount of time, because I was literally like, I need to do this every single day, 24/7, because at the end of the day, the goal is to be able to provide for my family. Absolutely. To be able to retire my mom, to give her the life that she always wanted to be able to give my sister a life that she always wanted to have. And yeah, so that's why I guess you could say I've done everything that I've done so far, because of that. They've always been my goal.
I love that you said that. And one thing that was big that you said is just being the man in the house. And the one thing I can really relate is just, you know, being in a single mother household.
Yeah,
you know,
same thing. You might have had your father as a little bit more in your life, but sometimes that's not always the best thing either. You know.
Yes, absolutely. Like, so I'll just touch base on that. Just how did that, like, what lesson did you learn just growing up in a single mother household? Because for me, I didn't realize this till later on, just how, because my mom had me at a very young age, you know what I'm saying? And it was stress to just raise by myself. But your mom raised 2 kids, you and your sister Laura. Yeah. Was it more of a hunger to really just get to it, just because you wanted to just provide? You said it, but I just want to dive more deeper into it.
I mean, I'm so grateful that I grew up the way I grew up, because my mom taught me a lot of valuable things. Yeah. One of the most important things, she taught me how to treat women. And that's something that a lot of guys have a problem with, especially in this day and age, right? She taught me the right morals. She taught me to respect. Obviously there's things that she couldn't have teach me because she's not a man.
Yes.
And that's where it comes down to, like, that's the opposite side. But
Absolutely.
I was super thankful, bro, because like she just taught me proper manners. Like I feel like more women have proper manners than men. So the fact that I grew up with my grandma, my mom, and my sister, all women, bro. I had to learn to deal with all of them chatting in my mouth every single day, you know. So it's like they taught me a lot about patience and they taught me a lot about respect.
I like that.
So that's one thing that I learned a lot from them, and like I wouldn't change that for the world.
I like that,
you know what I mean?
And the one thing where like your family's like is very involved in what you're doing, you know what I'm saying?
Bro.
It's very involved, and there's not a lot of people that have that support. And then with your mom, one of the biggest things that she did was just allowing you just to cut hair in the basement. You know what I'm saying? Because I know a lot of parents, there would have been like, oh, I don't want just no randoms in my crib, just, you know, but she allowed that because she believed, because I remember, like, I know in the very beginning, she didn't really like the vision. No. And you had to convince. I'd like to actually touch base on that. What was that conversation like?
Bro, I remember I was in Portugal and I told my mom, I was talking to her, I'm like, yo, mom, I think I want to like be a barber. And at this time, like what that was like 4 years ago, bro, haircuts were still like 12, 13 bucks. So she was just like, she's like, Carlos, like, what are you talking about? She was scared for me, you know? And when I came back and when everything happened, she was worried because she was scared that I was gonna go back to the lifestyle that I used to have. So even sitting down with her, she was like, she always wanted me to, she knew I wasn't a school kid, but she still wanted me to kind of go to school and all that. And I was like, nah, like, this is what I wanted to do. And I had to, the only way I could convince her was by my actions. So I remember the week that I came back and whatever, I got injured, and the week that I made the decision to go hard with this, I bought a shirt that was, I remember it was BrazyKuts. I had the address, I had my phone number, I had everything. And I remember every single day I would leave the house and she would always ask me where I'm going. I'd tell her I'm going to hand out business cards. And I would always go every single day. I didn't care if it was a man down the street, down the block. I was handing out cards. I literally would not leave. I wouldn't come back to my house until I had somebody in my chair. So once she actually started, she saw me doing that, even when like she couldn't see the true vision, she saw that I had the heart in it. So I guess that kind of put her at ease a little bit. And then once she started really seeing me getting busy and busy and busy, she was like, damn, like, you're doing it. She was proud of me, you know, but at first it was really hard. Of course, everybody, even my friends, bro, they're like, bro, why are you going to stop playing footy? Even my coach said, he literally looked at me, he's like, this is the stupidest thing you could have done. Wow. And I looked at him and I was like, you're right. But, bro, you know, you only live once. You either got to do it or you don't. So, yeah, it was hard, but I mean, from the effort and the work that I put into it, slowly started becoming easier and easier, you know?
I like that. Like, you know, I'm super proud of you, bro, because I remember just you start from the basement, bro. Start from the basement, having one fold-out chair and just like...
First it was the basement, and then I went to Scarborough.
Was it Miami Faves?
Yeah.
Miami Faves. So
I had to travel every single day, 2 hours there, 2 hours back. 18 turning 19 years old, every single day, 7 days. I didn't have no breaks, bro. And it was crazy because like the organization that it was, like I wasn't even getting paid nothing, bro. People don't even know. After working 2 months, I got paid $50, bro. Wow. People don't even know that, but I still didn't care because I wanted to.
After how much, sir?
After 2 months, working 7 days a week, $50.
Well, do you guys hear that though? 2 months working $50, you know, but he still kept going because he found the passion of
Well, obviously I was pissed off because I was like, bro, like you can't play with my money like that. But at the same time, I was like, you know what?
But you didn't get stuck there.
I started this not because of the money. I started this because of the passion. Absolutely. So, you know, it might have been me being like, what's the word? Like a little bit like just unaware. But at the end of the day, like I still wanted it. So I still kept going, you know. And then that's when I went back to the basement.
You figured it out. Yeah. I like that. And then you went to the basement, like what I really loved just, you know, you kept hustling, as you said, hand out business cards, and it's to the point, like, you were working like over 12-hour days.
People don't know the grind nowadays. I used to be in the basement. Nobody could call my phone. Nobody could call me, say, come out. I used to be there from 9 a.m. till 12 a.m. I have videos, pictures of all that. I used to be there every single day, bro. Absolutely. That used to be like my dungeon, literally.
I remember when you first started, when you really wanted to market yourself, and we had a conversation, it's like, you know, just how to basically market, and then you and your sister got really on it, and you know, okay, from being in the basement, you know, just building up your clientele, you know what I'm saying, and then you made the decision November 27th, 2019, you made the announcement of going to Glass Box.
Yo, you're
Glass Box
sick,
Barbershop.
Yeah. So the only reason why I went there, people don't even know. Like, I didn't go there because I wanted to work there. I went there because I wanted to learn something. Absolutely. Right? Around the area, I only knew a certain type of community of people, and for me, I already knew I wanted to open up the shop. So I always think things strategically. Absolutely. At the end of the day, I need to know how to be able to not only cut, but to have conversations with every single type of community, whether white, black, young, old. So when I went there, I knew what I was getting into. I was getting into an older based community, more Caucasian, but I was happy I was doing that because I needed to learn how to like express myself in that type of tone and that type of way, right? Because people think they can just chat their mouth however they want to, but it's like you got to understand what room you're in, and you have to really, really choose your words carefully. So over there, I couldn't be really. I had to change my whole tone. I had to change my whole accent. I had to change everything, bro. Like, I couldn't even talk the way I talk, but I liked it because I had to. Like I said, I had to know what it was like to be in a different room, you know?
Absolutely, and I'm not gonna lie, brother. I went to that shop twice.
It wasn't for
and
me.
I read away. It wasn't for you. You were dressing different. It's not a bad thing.
But it wasn't me. You. Yeah, it wasn't me. I know it wasn't, but I didn't care. Like, I only stayed there for a month. Yeah. Every time all my clients came, they're all telling me like, bro, what you doing? Like, what are you doing there? But I was like, yo, I know what I'm doing, you know?
Yep. And just basically how did working at glass shops really just give you just the experience how to kind of like run your own barbershop?
It didn't really give me experience how to run my own business. Like, I just, honestly, I learned that from opening up a business. I just went through it. From the only thing I learned about working at the glass box or the other barbershop was how to be in a different environment and how to act accordingly, right? That's the main thing I learned. Yeah. The owner of the shop, he's amazing. Like, we didn't really, like, we talked, but at the same time, like, he just taught me certain things of how to be a business owner in some sense. Realistically, I learned everything by just going through it. Sometimes you have to go through the motions to understand the motions. Absolutely. Right? Absolutely. So going into this, like, I was scared as hell. I remember when Laura, my sister, when people don't know, Laura's my sister, I remember when Laura, she's the one who gave me the kind of push to do this, because I was like, bro, I only knew I'm good at people, I'm good with people, and I'm good with making money, and I'm good at cutting hair. So I didn't know the whole business aspect. Yeah. So when she came onto it and she was like, you know, I'll help you with it, we'll work together and stuff like that, I was still scared because I was like, bro, I don't know if I can do this, right? Absolutely. But that was just me, like, not trusting in myself. But when I did it, I just had to learn. I had to roll with the punches. I had to fly with everything. I had to learn how to do business. I had to learn more than just how to cut hair, you know? So fast
forward now, so that was like December. You stayed there till like for a month. So what? January. So you went back to the basement.
And then I stayed there for the rest of the year.
And then so COVID happened, but July 7th, 2020, you decided to go. I know. As you said, it was fear because you opened up in the middle of the pandemic, bro. A lot of people. This is when like businesses was closing down all over the world, but you're like, no, like I'm gonna go through with it and do it. What was the process behind everything, and what made you go through with it?
First things first, I didn't really tell people. I just remember I told some people.
I think you told me. Yeah, but I was thoughts of it.
People were just asking me, like, everyone asked me, like, because they always knew I was on a rise. And they knew like what I was going for, and I just told them. I remember I'm like, yo, just watch. I got something coming up. So I didn't really tell nobody because, like, for me, I don't really like putting too much things out there because I never know what people will come bring back to me. I don't know what type of energy. So I was just kind of like, I got to keep it to myself and to my close people. But doing it, like, it was, the reason why I did it was because, like, everybody was running away. I'm the type of person, I go against the grain. So when everyone's running away, I try and go the opposite. Everyone was like, well, people that I was talking to, they were kind of like, why? I don't think you should do it. I think you should wait. It's not secure. But I was like, bro, my whole life not been secure, bro. So how are you going to tell me to be secure when I didn't grow up like that? Absolutely. So I just figured, like, I'm young. I take the chance. If I fail, it's not really a fail. It's a lesson learned. Absolutely. But if see, that's the thing, bro. Too many people, they look at the negative. Yeah. It's 50-50. Yes. You either fail or you win. Absolutely. So I rather choose the winning side. Absolutely. Right? Absolutely. So for me, I was like, bro, I'm going to win. I have a 50% chance of winning. I have the same odds if I could lose, but I'm going to choose to win. So that's when I just said, bro, I want to do it because the community, people need something to get uplifted from, you know, especially around this area because I don't live too far from here. The minute I open up something, people are, what are they going to do? They're going to want to go out to the club, have fun with their friends. they looking dusty. They gotta look better, right? So the first thing to do was gonna go to barbershop.
Absolutely.
Right? So I just figured, why not, you know?
And so for any barber or even any business owner, right, that's trying to open their own shop, what advice do you have for anyone that's like searching? You know, they're searching for the right spot. What's the process behind just finding the right place for your just for any type of business, not just maybe a barbershop?
For me, physical doesn't really matter that much. It's more about like the mental. So first, you got to ask yourself, why are you even doing this in the first place? I like that. Right? I like that. A lot of people know what they do and how they do it, but they don't really know why they do it. That's why so many people, they go towards the shiny objects in life. They see this working, they see crypto, they see all this. And
a lot of people see the money aspect, is want to do it. There's no purpose behind it.
Money only fuels you a certain amount. You know, it doesn't fill the whole tank. You know what I'm saying? So, like, you got to figure out why you want to do it in the first place. Because I opened for 3 months and then I closed for 9. And people don't even know that whole 9 months I was basically working in the basement when you used to come. I was working for free because I had to pay the rent. I didn't get no rent subsidy. I didn't get nothing of that. Like, I had to pay. So essentially I wasn't making any money. And my rent's not cheap, bro. Like, it's a lot. So the reason why you have to understand your why is because every single day I used to walk down into that basement, I have to tell myself why I'm doing this every single day. That's what kept me going. Because, like, bro, I'm literally busting my ass, not making nothing, right? So the first things first is understanding your why, the reason why you're doing, the purpose of what you're trying to do. If you're really trying to, like, I'm really doing this because I want to help myself, but I want to help other people. My goal as a human being on this earth is to serve the needs of others. By doing this, by having all this place, I'm not only serving the barbers, they're being able to provide for their family, but I'm serving the clients too. You know the conversation we have on the chair, bro.
It's some deep stuff. It's some deep stuff, bro. Touching stuff. We had some deep conversations.
Yeah, bro. From both, vice versa, right? Exactly. So it's like, it starts off with your why. The location and stuff, I mean, try and get in the... I suggest, like, doing some research before you actually just do it. A lot of people, they just think they can just do it, which is like, it's cool, but you got to have some things planned, step by step. Like, understand the demographic you're trying to reach, understand the certain area you're trying to target, right? Because if you're in let's say for instance, you're in an all white area, but you're trying to attract like ethnic people, Spanish people, black people, it won't work. If you're trying to have a volume type of business, but you're in the back of a plaza, it won't work. So you have to kind of have a plan of how your business basically represents who you are. So you have to have a base of understanding who you are so it can replicate your business.
Arguably, now you're one of the best shops around the GTA. Not just as haircuts, bro, just a whole experience. And, bro, do you not know that today is July 4th? In 3 days will be your 2-year anniversary. How do you feel about that, bro? 2 years running.
A lot of people say once you're in the business, you kind of get lost in it. And, like, for me, there's times where I take a step back to kind of be like, damn, I did this, but I'm so locked in that, like, it was only a week ago that I realized, yo, I'm about to touch 2 years of this place. Like, it literally feels like a month ago I was just opening up.
It feels like you've been open for like a longest time.
Yeah, it does. But at the same time, it feels like I literally just opened up at the same time. It's a weird feeling, bro. Like, it's like when you get into a relationship with somebody, like, because this is my baby, you know?
Bro, you're still new. Like, you're super new.
Super new.
Game,
like,
bro.
If you take out the 9 months, we haven't even been open for 2 years. We've only been open for like a year and like a couple months.
That's because of the pandemic.
We were closed the whole time, right? So we were realistically have only been open for like a year and like 3-4 months.
I like that. And so when you first, I want to go back to when you first opened the shop, right? Yeah. Bro, within 4 months, on November 14th, 2020, bro, you won just basically the best barbershop and the best service on the Toronto Stars for the Reader's Choice, bro. And so, like, how did that come? Like, not how did that come about? Cause obviously, you know why. But how did you feel in that moment? Because that, for me, that was a very proud moment. When I seen that, bro, I'm like, whoa, like, this guy is just killing it out the back. Because a lot of people has been opened up for way longer, but with you just opening and the knowledge that you gained, that you put behind the shop, like you deserve that. You know what I'm saying? But I want to know, how did you feel when you first?
I was surprised because now it's a different level. Now we're getting onto the white collar stuff, like the websites. We're getting onto that. So before the community always knew me, right? Like young, cool, whatever. But when I got that, I didn't even, somebody, like, usually you have to nominate yourself. Somebody nominated us. I just knew that when I got that, I was proud of myself because that's something different. That's not just the type of haircut that you give. That comes down to experience. And my main goal was to be able to provide the best experience possible. So when I got that, I was excited, bro, because I was like, hard work pays off, you know? So
They're just working in the shops of those two barbershops, right?
I worked at 3 actually.
Three.
Yeah,
Three.
the other one it's a barbershop not too far. It's called the Fade Room.
Okay.
Yeah,
So working all those three barbershops, were they like the experience that you needed to just kind of like know how to just run?
Yeah, because
the
they
whole
were most of
barbershop?
them most of them were organized businesses. Like they weren't just like the regular hood barbershop that you go to. I tried to get in there, but they didn't want me, so I was like, all right. So it was good because it helped me build some type of structure.
Yes.
It showed me that like it's more than just a haircut, right? Like the appointments, the aura of everything, you know, the people in the shop, the environment. That's what really they taught me, I guess. So I learned a lot from working over there. I didn't really care to learn how to cut hair from them because every shop that I went to, I was pretty much like one of the best barbers there, you know? It was more so just trying to gain experience on the industry type stuff that I was trying to do.
And the one thing that I love about your barbershop, bro, is every time I come in, it's just I'm treated as a vibe. I'm always welcomed.
You
know what I'm saying?
Talk to you, everybody loves you. But it's also because you bring that same type of energy, right? So I always I welcome everybody, right? But when you have somebody that comes in here, good energy plus good energy, it just creates a bond, right? So I always had to make sure that there was always good energy from the guys. That's what I cared more about. Like people always think going back to it has to be a good haircut, but even the barbers, like before the haircut, I look at the person. That's what matters the most, right? Because if you have one rotten apple on the whole tree, like it's gonna end up eating up away everything else. So I had to make sure that everybody was on the same page when it came to this.
But I know it took a very long time to get to this point, bro. I remember there was a point where like 4 to 5 barbershop left at once, bro. How was that experience? Because I know that's probably because this is a whole, right? How was that experience for your first time? Because you're young, you're just jumping in and just being own boss, a boss and a leader to other people.
Yo, honestly, it felt like I was breaking up with my girlfriend for the first time, but times 2, bro, because it's like every day I was putting in work for them, not just for me. I was putting in work for them. Like I never even used to have lunch breaks, bro.
One thing what I love about you, fam, is just like you're not just a leader. You're a true boss. You're like you want your barbers to be bosses. I walk in here and you remind your barbers like, hey, did you do content? Did you fit it for your content? Hey, this and that. You'll stop sometimes just to help your other barbers, making sure that they're good, so the client is be recurring, right? It's come back. Yeah. So it's just that's the one thing I love about you, fam. Is just you know how to lead. I go into other barbershops and everyone's to themselves.
Like that's the thing. People that open businesses, they think they're bosses. But that's like the difference between being a boss and a leader. A leader is somebody that can guide and show people and lead by example. Bossing is just telling somebody to do something, right? So like I always practice what I preach. Whenever I tell these guys, yo, you better make sure you sweep up every single time, that's because they see me sweeping up every single time. I don't really say that with my words, I say that with my actions. So like that was just the most important thing for me was I had to realize that I had to be a leader instead of a boss, because when I worked at these certain places, I realized that they were bosses instead of leaders, right? So
going back a little bit to just the barbers leaving, what do you think was the problem beforehand and the challenges that you had to and what was the solution of just, okay, maybe we just had to fix this for the next barbers that come in?
Well, obviously there was things that I had to change with myself, right? Like it wasn't, we just barely open, you know what I mean? So like there was things I had to learn about myself with, letting people breathe. Like that was the one thing I had to learn, is like I had to let people make their own decisions. I couldn't really make the decisions for them. So that was one thing I learned. But honestly, the main problem was the fact that I had the wrong people working for me. Like I literally had the wrong people working for me.
I had that vibe,
This is when it shifted. Before, I remember I wanted the best people. I was like, yo, I want the best barbers, and that could have been naive of me, but like everybody wants their business to be booming, right? And it was because I did have the best barbers. Like literally, my barbershop had the best barbers in Toronto. They were all fire. Like obviously, I had like a 1-2 guys that were just kick them on the door, But for the most part, everybody was sick. But as a person, they did not fit. They didn't fit the shoe. They were all just trying to wedge. I was trying to wedge their way into it. So when they left, it was devastating. I actually, like, bro, I remember I went on a long walk and I was like, do I really want to do this? Like, this was just me overreacting, you know? But I was like, do I really want to do this? I had a long conversation with my sister, and she told me, she's just like, remember why this place is here. Not because of them. Yeah. Because of you.
And it's crazy because I remember this the beginning stages, you know, and the one thing I felt is that people, it was discouraging for them to be like, yo, I have a boss that's the same age as me. Like,
oh, yeah.
Like, you know, and the one thing I want to just advise everyone is that knowledge can come from any age. You really went through the struggles to get the knowledge right now. You know?
That's the one reason why most people don't succeed, is because I look at it like this. Life is like a ladder, right? Everybody wants to climb the ladder so quick. Yeah. So the way they try and climb the ladder is by missing the steps. Yeah. But what ends up happening is eventually you might make it, like at the beginning you might, you know, get a good rhythm, but eventually you're gonna end up hitting your knee. Yeah. And once you hit your knee, you're gonna end up hitting your chest, and you're gonna end up hitting your face, and then you're gonna fall straight off. Yeah. You need to go through the steps properly to be able to, you know, slow and consistent. For me, that's the best way. That's what I always realize.
I love that, bro. So price going up. Yesterday's price is not today's price. I remember your first announcement in like September 30th, 2018. Yeah. You remember that it was like you changed. You went from, you know, doing the cheap, like the charging lower. Yeah. Now like it was like $20 stage. Yeah. You went from free, like now you charge like $56, and now that's just the lowest price.
Exactly. I'm only doing that right now because of the things I have going, but I'm already too busy to even be charging that much right now, bro. But
I feel you, bro.
I remember I was looking with Laura. Me and Laura were looking through it. Yeah. And 2 days ago she sent me, I think it was 3 years ago, I was charging like $10, $15. I was like, damn, bro. Like, humble beginnings, man.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And just how was it going through the transition of just knowing, because a lot of people, for me, went for my doing videography. I remember at first it was very hard for me to raise my price because I was like, oh, I'm gonna lose certain clientele. But my boy Jacob, and even you, like, it was telling me like, yo, you should be charging more. You should be that push. What was the process like of just, you know, okay, like, I have to raise my prices? Was there any fear that went behind it? Was there people like, I know Laura was just is the manager and part owner of the shop and everything. Was she like helped a lot with the process as well, just pushing you to do it?
When it came to raising my price, honestly, it was just fear, bro. Like, it was the fear that if I keep doing this to myself, I'm gonna be insane. Like, I was literally cutting hair like nonstop. I had like even now to this day, I barely take lunch breaks, bro. I just started taking lunch breaks. I had to be scared of myself because I started getting problems. Like, I started getting like stomach problems. Like, my body was breaking down on me. Even now, like, my arms are like, they're fried, bro. I have like crazy, bro. Like, so I had to just, my mom, honestly, like, my main thing was my mom. She always used to tell me, she's like, be careful. She's like, don't eat too much. Like, don't do too much, right? She's like, it's a longevity game. If you keep doing this to yourself, you have to understand the business is you. You're the main thing for this business. If you do not learn how to take care of yourself, no one will, and then everything's gonna go down. So it was just a fear of like, not even a what if, when am I gonna break down? You know? And like, the main thing that I never really listen. I'm stubborn, bro. I'm super hard-headed. I don't really listen to anybody. If I have a goal, I just go towards it. But the main thing that kind of changed my perspective on anything is Christmas. Remember I was in the hospital? Yeah. When I went to the hospital. So.
And that's what I want to touch on. Because oftentimes entrepreneurs are just hardworking people end up just burning out from working so hard. You know what I'm saying? So I love to just touch base on that. Like, what was that experience like, just being in the hospital? You know, after that burnout. I know it was between the holidays, bro. Christmas and New Year's, you're in the hospital. So, and I remember just, I want to ask, like, what do you do differently to avoid that burnout? 'Cause I remember, like, bro, you used to work 7 days a week. Yeah, 7 days a week. Like, you know, you used to get over like 16 cuts a day. Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Well, I mean, I'm still in the grind like that, but now I take a day off. Like, Sundays I take off. For the most part, you know, obviously you have your times where you got to do certain things, but Sundays I take my day off, and then Mondays I just do education. But now I try and give myself a lunch break, at least like maybe 2-3 times out of the week. I give myself a lunch break, and I don't try and overdo it when it comes to my haircuts. Now I know what I need to make, I make what I need to make, and that's kind of what it is. But being in the hospital really taught me, like, as painful as it was, like, it was the most blessing experience I ever had, because I remember, like, this was going in before Christmas. I was about to be the busiest that I ever was. I was really prepared to work like 16-hour shifts, bro. I was going into mentality like, yo, you are about to kill yourself. But you know what? I was like, let's do it. And then I remember, I think a day before I actually, like, things, like, everything happened, I was sitting there and, like, I was just like, yo, God, bro, like, I don't know if I can keep doing this, dog. Like, I don't know if I can keep going like this. Like, I feel like I'm gonna hurt myself. Like, help me out. Yeah. And, like, as painful as it was, he helped me out. He gave me the time to relax. As much as, like, even though I was, like, in pain, I wasn't really physically working no more. So in there, that's when I really got close to my faith. Like, being in the hospital, that's when I really got close.
And I remember January 6th, 2022, this beginning this year, you made a post, and there was a whole paragraph of just what was the updates, what was happening, and you made these 3 goals: live by God's plan and not doubt it, continue to inspire people in any form, and live like tomorrow is not promised. How have you been living and achieving these goals from then to now?
I mean, every day, bro. Like, the first thing I do now, I wake up, is I pray. I always pray. That's the first thing. The first thing and the last thing. Even if it's not like a crazy, like, 20-minute, 30 minutes, sometimes, like, I always do my prayers. And every time in my prayer, I always ask God to give me guidance, to guide me throughout the day, guide me throughout, the week, guide me throughout the year. And every single day I walk with him, for him. So the steps that I take, it's always, before I make a decision, I always ask myself, like, how would he want me to react towards this? How would he want me to do this? So that's the first thing. The second thing, like, I've never really done things for myself, but everything that I do now, like my social media page, the way I'm building my business, it's all for everybody, bro. Like, I never do it for myself. Like, yes, I'm still cutting hair, but, like, that money that I make goes towards my family, bro. You see me, I don't dress up in Gucci. I dress up in Walmart t-shirts, bro. I don't need that drip, bro, because you got all of this, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't need none of that. So for me, living by serving the needs of others, I do that every single day. For the things that I post, the way that I walk, the way that I talk, and what was the third thing?
Live like tomorrow.
Like, yeah, bro. I do it every single day, bro. Like, people, yeah, like, okay, it's hard. People talking about, I need like 8 hours of sleep. Like, what you sleeping for, bro? Like, what you sleeping for, dog? You're young. The way I look at it is like, man, sometimes I need sleep, right? But if I'm up an hour longer than you every single day of the week, that means I have 7 hours over you. If you do that times 4, look how much time I got over you. Look how much time I can get more done in a year than you. Everybody got the same 24 hours. So it's like, what are you really doing with that 24 hours? Because tomorrow, you may not, like, people think that they get to wake up. You get woken up. You don't get to choose to wake up. You don't get to choose to have air breathing through your lungs. So the fact that I got that, I feel like people take life for granted, bro. They look at the little things. They look at not even little things. They look at the big things, right? They look at the money, they look at the fame, they look at the friends, and they look at all that, but they tend to not even look at the own air that they breathe and how it's coming inside of them, Yeah. So for me, I just try and look at, whenever I feel like I'm taking this for granted, I look at the little things in life and I appreciate it. I got a house, I got family, I got food, I got life, and I'm smiling. What else am I complaining for? And I'm thankful to have a business.
That's it.
That's it, yo.
And one thing, talking about going towards social media, one thing I love that you do, bro, like, you take it back to just, I remember just, you always hand out your business cards everywhere you go. And sometimes you take your barbers with you. You go down house by house, putting, business cards in everyone's mailbox. You're in the streets handing out business cards. You're downtown. You're always constantly posting. And, as you went from 0 followers to now over like 10K followers.
Just touched 14 right now.
14, congratulations. We got to cheers for that. 14K on Instagram.
Like, same thing. So I remember I did a giveaway for 600 followers. My sister sent it to me, and I was in there. I remember in the video I was talking, I'm like, I know 600 is not a lot, but when I get to 5K, when I get to 10K, I'm like, I promise, like, I'm gonna keep giving back. And like, to see myself at this, I know, like, followers for me, they make a difference, but they don't at the same time. Like, the reason why I rather have followers for people that actually take my stuff and they use it for good use, right? I don't really care to have meaningless followers. The things that I post, people follow me because they like it, right? Absolutely. But just looking back at it, I was just like, damn, like, it's crazy how, like, hard work and consistency could get you there. But at the same time, what are you doing that others are not doing? Absolutely. Absolutely. Right? So like handing out the cards and all that stuff, I was like, you have, same thing, you have 24 hours in a day. If you're sitting there chilling, you can't expect people to come to you because no one's gonna know you do a certain profession. Unless I have like a shirt that says I'm a barber, which I used to walk with every single second, no one's gonna know that I'm a barber. And even yet, so the way the society's set up is that like people are scared to talk to people, you know? Like you walk down the street, you don't really, someone says hi to you, you're like, most people are like, what's wrong with that guy? You know, like, why is he so happy? Like, you know what I mean? So like, for me, I was like, yo, I got to put myself out there. The only way for people to see me, even if they don't take my card, I have so many people turn down my cards. Like, even if people don't take down my card, like one no is closer to my yes. Exactly. So I was like, I'd rather keep working to my yes than not even have the opportunity for it, you know?
Like that. And what advice do you have just for upcoming entrepreneurs? You know, just what advice you have on like just how to market their business, how to market themselves?
Try and do it as free as possible. Like try and do it to the point where you don't have to spend no money. Like I don't spend money on Google ads. I don't spend money on none of that. I just do the research and I figure out how I can do it naturally. So like even for my website, my Google page, like instead of paying thousands of dollars to get ads, I was just like, let me figure out a way to, you know, actually do it myself. Yeah. Right? There's too many people, they want things given to them in life. You know what I'm saying? They're not willing to actually put in the freaking work. They're not willing to sweat a little bit. They're not willing to stay up an extra hour to learn something. They're not willing to do that. And that's what pisses me off so much. With entrepreneurs, you can't just expect things to come to you. You know, like first thing, try and do things for free. And the second thing is bust your ass, bro. If you want it, you'll work hard. You'll do it. Like stay up later, do certain things. Like if you want it, you'll go for it. That's really it. No one is gonna give you the keys to the pot of gold, you know? You gotta go find that gold yourself. And even when you find that gold, you gotta go find the bigger pot. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, if you want it, one thing that I always kind of live by is no matter how hard you work, there's always a younger person, an older person, somebody that's working harder than you. There's always somebody that stayed doing extra haircut. There's always somebody that stayed up an extra hour. There's always somebody that's doing more than you. So I don't really look at it as comparison. I just look at it as like motivation, and that's for me in some sense, you know.
For all the supporters, for the viewers, where did BrazyKuts, the name, even come from, bro? Because it's very unique, you know what I'm saying? Because your real name is Carlos. It's very far.
It's different, bro. Yeah, it's different, bro. I always used to wear. I remember I went with my sister to Zoomies one time, and I never used to buy too much stuff, but I remember I saw a hat and it said Brazy on it, and like I was like, damn, bro, like this is just. I feel like I gotta grab it. So I remember I grabbed it, and every single day I used to wear it. Every single day I used to wear it. I never used to wear nothing else besides a hat. And when I started cutting hair, I just always wore that hat when I was cutting hair. And like everybody used to tell me like, yo, your cuts are crazy, bro. And you know, one day my boy was just like, nah, because he used to see me wear my hat all the time. Yeah.
He's like, nah. I remember that hat. Like, the light like brown hat.
Yeah. I still have it. And he was like, nah. He's like, look at that. Look at his hat. His cuts are not crazy. His cuts are brazy. Yeah. And then after I was trying to come up with a barber name at the same time. So I don't want to be Carlos the Barber. It sounds like it's a waste name. You know what I'm saying? So man just started calling me BrazyKuts.
I say you told me the story, but it's like you said JJP. You know, you got excited when someone was like, "Oh, I'm about to get a brazy."
Yeah, man, that was a big one. I remember it was a kid, and he didn't say he was about to. He was like, I remember I was sitting down in the bleachers and like I like to be known, but not really, you know, like only for my business. Besides that, I'm a quiet guy. I like to just know my people, and that's really it. And I remember I was sitting down. I forget who I was with at the time, but there was this kid, and I overheard him, and he's like, yo man, where'd you get your haircut? He's like, I got a brazy cut. And I was just like, damn, that's crazy.
That's what's up, yo. And bro, one of my like the stories that I love, bro, that really I just felt so proud that I was able to do this, bro. I remember just at Dreamville, bro, and I just saw this guy. I'm like, oh, that's a barber guy. I seen a picture of him. I was like, yo, he's here. And then he called me like, yo, I want to put him on the phone with him. I was like, wait, he's for people that, yo, bro, do it. I'm like, okay, man. And then come like 1 second. And you guys had that little conversation and everything. What was that experience like?
Well, honestly, like I was more thankful for you, bro. Like, cause you didn't have to do that. You didn't have to call me. Like, I was like, damn, like I already knew you were my bro, but I was like, damn, like this is like my bro, because like nowadays people want to do things for themselves, you know, and like they don't really care to go out and do the extra thing for you know, even their friends. So like when you did that, I was more like, damn, like this guy's my brother, But like it was cool, like because for instance, like that, and this is one thing also I wanted to say for people going on, but like everybody watches him. Like I'm inspired by him, right, to do the things that I do. So when I got on a call with him, it was cool because it was just like, this is the guy that I'm inspired by, you know, to talk to. So that was dope. But the one thing else I wanted to say, like when it comes to entrepreneurs or people trying to do something, is like people are watching you. Facts. Whether you may not think people are watching you, but facts. You know, you may have your little brother watching you, your little sister watching you, your cousin watching you. So it's like, I think that's one thing why like I go so hard too, is because I want to show people that no matter where you come from, no matter how old you are, no matter what predicament you're put in, that you can beat the odds. You can do it as long as you truly believe in yourself. Absolutely. So I think that's one thing that really pushes me as well, is the fact that like there's people that are depending on me for their motivation. There's people that are depending on me for their inspiration. So absolutely. I'm serving the needs of others. I can't do it. I can't give up. Even my mom, like my mom's like, she's like, I'm one of her biggest motivations. I'm like, you're one of my biggest motivations. So I can't stop, especially because my mom looks up to me. Absolutely. You know what I'm saying? Absolutely. So that's another thing too.
And a couple more questions. I want to retouch base with Laura, because you were just very skillful, right? You're really good you're really talented of doing haircuts and everything. But Laura was more business oriented at a time. Yeah. I know it's very hard to like family to work with each other. You know, so how are the challenges of just, you know, siblings, you know, just really putting like their products on, just working with each other and everything?
Well, like without Laura, this wouldn't be here, because Laura is the one. Laura and my mom, but like Laura is the one that she pushed me for this. She's the one that gave me the motivation when I didn't have it. She's the one that gave me the power when I didn't have it. So without her, this wouldn't be here. First of all, because of like the effort that she put into, but second, because like you're right, I was the people person. I was the operational person. I knew how to deal with people, and I knew how to deal with, you know, the work inside of it. She knew how to deal with the work outside of it. So she was like, she's a huge role in this. She's like, people look at her and they don't know what she does, but she's like the engine for this. Like she runs this.
Like she's all the time, she's right in that desk all the time. She's a front desk lady, scheduling.
She's so much more than that. And I really look up to her because like she's doing more than people think she is. She has right now, so she's, you know, she's a part owner of the shop. She's doing real estate school, and she's doing her accounting, and she has a part-time job. So it's like, I look up to her, like, she talks to me about she gets like 3 hours of sleep. I'm like, damn, like that's a lot. And when it comes to the house, that's still something that we work on. Like, you know, because me and my sister, like, we love, it's a love and hate relationship, obviously, with most, you know, brothers and sisters. Like, one day we'll love each other, and then the next day we'll want to box each other in the face, you know? But it's like, it was hard at first in some sense, because like I feel like everybody, no matter what, when it comes to family, you end up bringing some personal life into the business, but you learn through the situations. Like we had to learn, there's situations that we've been through that I'm thankful for, that we had to learn to be like, okay, we need to know when to separate this and when to talk about this. So it's always a learning progress, but I feel like as long as you like sit down and talk about it, then it can get solved with. I'm so thankful that I've been in business with her, because there's things that I couldn't have done with if it was just a regular person. You know what I mean? So.
But so you see, you guys, Brazy, he could have just, you know, just been like, hey, let me just continue to just, you know, do it by myself, because I'm making good money. I'm making more than the average 9 to 5. You know what I'm saying? But he had a team. Someone to really push him, like, hey, you're a people's person, you're the talent, let me be the brains of the operation. And that's just to prove to you, like, guys, when you want to build your business into a corporation, you cannot just do it by yourself. You need a team behind you to really just make everything work. With one person focusing on another thing, and then you have someone else focusing on, you know, the next. And now, bro, you have 8 barbers, bro. 8 barbers. You have a whole empire. And I know, and it is the beginning. It's a small empire, but I know it's only you know, it's about to grow. And
one thing though that like really like recently that really made me redirect my direction again, because obviously like sometimes there's things that, you know, are brought into your life and that put you back on the path, because no one ever really stays truly consistent. You always end up falling off somehow, some way. So I remember I was watching this video. It was on Instagram. It was just a reel, and it was this guy asking this other guy, like, because he was a billionaire, and he asked him, "What's the difference between a millionaire and a billionaire?" And he said, a millionaire knows how to make money. A billionaire knows how to make other people make money. So for me, I had to sit back in my business like, okay, I'm doing all this, but how can I make other people not just make money, but succeed in other ways, right? Because their success is based off, if they're successful, I'm successful because they're underneath the branch, right? Too many days nowadays, people want to just make themselves successful and make the people follow underneath them. For me, I want him to do better than me. I want him to do better. I want her to do better than me. I want them to do better than me because at the end of the day, they're still under my establishment.
And it's crazy because all your barbers are very like trustworthy. Where like you can just sit at every chair and you're guaranteed a nice cut. I want to ask this question before we close off, right? I want to ask this: dead or alive, who do you wish you could have in your next chair?
Simple, Nipsey Hussle. That's my guy, bro. Like he's on the wall. Crazy. I literally created a beard oil brand just off of Prolific. Like that's. I remember when I first started listening, he's the only, like one of the only guys that really ever, like I cried to this guy's music because like I truly feel it. Like that's pain in there. Like that's pain in his music and just like his lifestyle. People, I remember I used to indulge in his interviews. I was obsessed with the man, bro. I used to watch videos of him, like the type of person that he was in the environment that he was. It was unheard of. Like the way that he carried himself, the way that his language mixture, the way he can switch from one thing to the other thing, and even with him being in that certain environment, the way he can, express himself. Like, bro, he built an empire when he didn't even have a ground to start off with. He created the concrete, So he was like he's the person that I would want in the chair, just to like, I don't even know if I want to talk to him. I just want to be in his aura, bro. Like that's how much I'm obsessed with that guy, just to be in his aura. So.
I like that, yo. And barbers often become therapists, right? Yeah. So, like, what was the most interesting story you have ever heard cutting someone's hair? Okay, I remember you said there's some days where you have to pull with his chair because it's so hard.
Yeah, man. I've sat there and me and people have actually teared up with each other because of conversations that they had with me. Like, there's guys that go through real stuff, like go through real things in life where like comes to points where sometimes they want to harm themselves. And for me to be able to be that person that they can truly tell themselves to, because I've had people that on the chair, like I don't want to get too much into it, but that talk to me about certain things like that, and like they wouldn't tell nobody else. And I used to ask them, bro, why are you telling me this? Like yeah, we're cool, but you got a girl, you got a family, like I'm your barber. And the meaning that they felt with me, it just, those experiences truly tell me that my purpose is here and what I need to be doing. But I've had a lot of experiences, bro, like happy, sad, truly experiences that I wish that like I would not want to take away. Like I love being here no matter what,
You're not just a barber, you know what I'm saying? You're a whole brand, you're a whole corporation, right? What advice do you have for people out there that may want to be where you are right now?
So one thing that there's this older gentleman that walks by the shop every single day, and I take at least 5 minutes to talk to him. Wow. And I remember I asked him, I'm like, yo, you lived on this earth, I think he's like 60 something, 70 something, wow. I'm like, I always ask people, what advice would you give me? I'm like, you lived on this earth for this amount of time, like what advice would you have for me? And he said 3 words: keep it real. I think when it comes to your brand, your business, who you are, you got to keep it real. Absolutely. Like don't fold, don't fake for nobody. Like be who you are. People don't like it, so what? Yeah. Right? Everybody knows my aura is strong, bro. Nobody can faze me. I don't care. Nobody can faze me. Everybody knows what type of person I am because Facts. I keep it real. Facts. I keep it 100. I keep it who I am. Exactly. That's why people respect my brand. That's why people respect the barbers in here. That's why people respect just even this area because of me just keeping it real. So like the main thing is like just keep it real. Don't try and do something that you're not. Don't try and be something that you're not. Don't try and change for nobody. Just obviously grow, but keep it real.
Yo, so what's next for BRAZY? What's next?
Yo, things are coming soon. I can't really say too much, bro.
Can I get all the conversation exclusive, bro? A little exclusive.
Hey, you gotta stay tuned for the next episode. That's what I gotta say. a lot of things are working out. I'm just so locked in, bro. Like a lot of things are coming. Obviously, my goal has been to open up more barbershops. Like that. That's so.
Are we gonna see? Is that as part of the plans right now? We're gonna see.
You know,
okay.
Hard work pays off, but yeah, like obviously the shops, my education. I got some things coming up with my education too. And then besides that, I'm trying to really push my branding, my social media page, just because like I feel like the things that I express are pure, not just only with barbering, but like I say some stuff, I talk about things that people go through. I give people some good advice. So I want to push that more. I really want to get myself out there like that. So I'm working on things with some other people that are trying to get me to that position. Absolutely. And like, yo, just enjoy life every single day, bro. That's really it.
I like that. Well, last question before we leave off. You just said like you're focused on educational. Yo, you spend a lot of money on course. I remember you said you might spend like what, $4,000 one time on a course.
My most recent. So when it comes down to being business, my most recent course I dropped on was like $5,000, and it had nothing to do with cutting hair. Wow. It had everything to do with business. And some people may say it's a dumb decision, but for me, it's like I'd rather invest in myself than invest in something different, right? Something that has nothing to do with my business. So for me, the first time I invested, I took a barber course. I went broke doing it because I was like, it was a guy that I looked up to, that I literally started cutting hair from, watching from YouTube. He came to Toronto. It was a 2-day course for $1,200, and I was like, bro, I was like 18 at the time. People were like, I was like, I don't care. Let me go broke. I don't care, yo, because for me, I knew that investing in myself, it's gonna pay off. Absolutely. It's gonna come back.
Because I just gave the knowledge, and people have to understand, guys, like anything you do, like it's 20% talent, 80% business. And the fact that you realize that from early, that like, hey, like I'm good what I'm doing. I know the talent. I know it's gonna go far, but I'm gonna stretch down and really know the business. So
because no matter how good you are at what you do, if you don't know how to brand it, if you don't know how to express it in the right way, like I tell people, you can do a really good haircut, but if you don't know how to take a picture of it, or you don't know how to take a good video of it, it could look shitty. So it's the same thing as a business. You can have a good idea for a business, but if you don't know how to plan it properly, if you don't know how to brand it properly, then it's just gonna be a bust. So that's the way I see it.
And where can everyone find your services, bro?
Hey, I mean, I'm pretty. If y'all want to book an appointment, you can if y'all want more than just a haircut, if you want an experience, if you want a life-changing experience, if you want to gain some wisdom, if you want a mentor in some sense, even though I am young, if you want somebody that you could feel that the connection from, check me out on Instagram. My Instagram is at BrazyKuts, BRAZYKUTS. And if you guys want a fresh cut in Toronto, you can check out the barbershop, BrazyKuts Barbershop. I don't really have no other. I mean, I got TikTok, but besides that, I like to stay focused. So, yo, appreciate you,
bro,
real.
I'm proud of you, bro. I'm proud of you, bro.
One thing I have to say is very important. The people that you surround yourselves with. 3 of my best friends, they're all people that literally I am inspired by, that I'm motivated by, that I wake up and I'm so thankful for. So that's one thing. Understand your circle. Your friends will express who you are as a person. So if you're hanging around bums, change that. Even though they're good people, they can still be bums. So it's like, I appreciate you, honestly. Thank you. Thank you for being who you are, and thank you for just every single day inspiring me, bro.
Thank you, bro.
That's love.
Jeez. Guys, that's the end episode of the conversation. We ended the first episode. Guys, we'll be recording a lot more of this on the beginning, you know what I'm saying? Like, comment, subscribe for more episodes, because there's going to be a lot more, just sharing gems and just really getting at the real purpose. I want you guys to at least leave one thing that you can use on your day-to-day lives. And say there's some gems out there. That covers a lot, and BRAZY, like, I appreciate you, and thank you for coming on, bro. I appreciate that. And that's the end. Stay tuned for more episodes, guys, and we're out.
Yep. That was fire. That was fire.
No, bro. Thank you, bro. That is, you know what I'm saying? Because, bro, like, you inspired me big time, fam. You know what I'm saying? That's why I'm so happy.
Yo, honestly, I think I'm more proud of you because I know, like, your speeching and stuff like that, and the fact that you're on here, like, even though you started a little 1-2 like that, at the end of the day, like, you're in front of the camera, bro. Like, you did that. You did that shit. Like, you put yourself out there, and like, people are scared to step into the light, bro. You said 1, 2, 3, 4, all these eyes. So it's like, you gotta be proud of yourself for that. I'm being serious, bro. Honestly, bro. And this is gonna do amazing. You just gotta keep hustling, like, no matter what. Even if you don't get no views, whatever, bro. Keep hustling.